All right. Testimony part one. Because it's a bit of a testimony. I've been serving the Lord for a very long time. And I've gotten off course, so here we go. So I started serving the Lord and wanted to know Him at a very, very young age. And I remember learning John 3:16 when I was 8 years old, and I stood before the church, and I remember quoting the scripture, and everybody was cheering and clapping because I memorized it. Now, that being said, just because I knew of the Lord back in those days when I was little, did it mean that I followed the Lord completely? And I know many of you guys can testify to that. So I was around 27, 28, and I had some real traumatic events happen during the period between 8 and 27. I was molested and raped several times during that period, and I lived my life as a lesbian. Yep. Yeah, heard it. You heard it directly from me, so there's no gossip. Anyways, during that time, I looked like a boy. I acted like a boy because I was completely and utterly scared of men because of the trauma that I experienced. Being next to a man made me hyperventilate. I couldn't breathe standing next to them. The only people that I could be close to that were men were some of my boy cousins, and it's only because I grew up with them and they never did any harm to me and they always showed me mad love. But during that time, I picked up all the attributes of what men act like. The way they walk, the way they talk. I talked to girls. I did a whole bunch of things. And so I felt like that was my life. Well, long story short, I go to this gay club and I'm in there and I'm chilling. And while I'm in the club chilling, this man comes up and he's standing behind me and he's making me feel so uncomfortable. And I don't really even know what death feels like, but that day I believe I understood what death felt like because that man kept staring at me and he kept making me feel uncomfortable to the point where I started shaking and crying because I knew that something was so evil and wicked about him. So when I would move to the left, he would move to the left. When I moved to the right, he would move to the right. I moved down a few stairs, he moved down a few stairs. He just kept following me. So I ran to the dance floor and I asked my friend, I said, "Hey, can we leave because something is not right here?" And I start crying in the middle of the dance floor. And so my friend takes me and we go find a bouncer. So when they go and find the bouncers go and they go to talk to this guy and they grab this guy. This guy starts screaming and yelling and talking about, I wanted to kill her. And he's talking about how he had chosen me to be the person that he wanted to kill. So when they open up his jacket, they see that he has a bunch of machetes, which are knives, that have been sharpened because his intention that day was to kill somebody, and I was the person that he had chose. Now, I'm going to go on to part two in just a second.